We live, man. We live. Where's the people at? What you all up to, man? Sitting here watching this Gene Deal on the Art of Dialogue. Seeing what's going on. Twig, I see you. Meanie, what up? Trying to figure out this city college movement. What up, kid? Sitting here watching Gene Deal speaking about the city college movement and some of the stuff I guess he can't recollect to. Well, pretty much he's saying everything correct except for what was going on at the top part of it. And the top part of it is really where the problem was at, man. The top part of it was really where the problem was at. But he's speaking about the new, that new Reckoning documentary and all that. And he was saying how it wasn't enough security. Yomi, what up? What's good? My boy, my brother. And I was outside in that line all the way, pushed all the way in until we got inside of that corridor. And that's where the problem happened at. And it was 2 police out there, and it was barricades out there. And Gene basically pretty much saying it wasn't no gates out there. It wasn't gates, it was the police barricades, those blue barricades that they use for the parades. And it was 2 police there. And what is a fact that I remember, because I just talked to my homie that was on the line with me, he was seeing them, they was bringing in the celebrities and all that through the same door. And that's what kind of made the pandemonium get crazy at that door. And I watched the police break out and leave. 2 police, they only had 2 police there. They didn't even have no security there, no city college security, no nothing. And I had talked with Gene Deal one time before. He said his FOI brothers was out there. And I'm telling them I ain't see him. If they was across the street, then I ain't see him. But nothing was across the street. My little homie just was giving me the breakdown. He can't even remember all the way. But this right here is crazy. And I'm only saying this because they, try to put the blame on Puff. And I ain't here to secure nothing for Puff. I'm just here to speak the facts because the police never got blamed for this stuff. And the police should be the ones to get the blame for it because they left. After them barricades fell, they left. But we're going to let y'all hear some of this stuff that Gene Deal talking about, man.
That I was at City College. You understand? I was there. I was doing security. My team was supposed to have the outside. Puff came to me the day before we were supposed to do the job there and told me that Heavy D didn't want us to do the security outside. I had 18 men ready to do the security outside with my dogs like I always do. People knew how we used to roll. We would have the pits, the Rottweilers, you understand? We had it outside locked up. So anybody try to bum rush, anybody do that, we had the gates, the whole 9 yards. So we could stop all that. People gonna get down in Harlem.
And that's my point right there. If they would have had the security up there controlling the line, girls on one side, men on the other side, or some type of structure, that would have never happened. Nobody would have never been able to get down to the bottom of those steps in that gym. Period. It would have never happened if they had the security in the front. Just what Gene just said right now. It wasn't none. It was only 2 police officers, a man and a female. And as we on that line, I'm telling my homie, stay close to me. I was thinking my homie got in with me, but I forgot. He just reminded me that he said he couldn't take it no more. He said he had to get off the line because he couldn't take it no more. And he said he was seeing them letting celebrities come in through the front. So that was true. The celebrities was going in through the same door that we was trying to get in. The pandemonium wasn't going crazy yet. The line was still piling up while the celebrities was going in. And that's what made the crowd get all antic and stupid.
Understand? So, and then when you got LL Cool J, you got Mike Tyson coming through there, and they coming through the front door so people see them. So they gonna go crazy. LL was the hottest thing out at that time. Mike Tyson was the hottest thing out at that time. They got all kinds of stars and people in there already. They was coming through the back. They came through the front. And it caused the door to be bum rushed. But if they had the gates up, if they had the door.
That's what I'm saying. The gates was up. They had the barricades, but they didn't have nobody with structure. No security was there with structure. It was the blue barricades up. And the crowd started forming up and pushing once them celebrities went in. And then the barricades got pushed over. And the police, it was a male police and a female police standing right there by that front door where the line was going in at. After that bum rush started happening, the police, they threw their hands in the air like, we out, threw their hands up and walked across the street and left. And that's when the chaos started happening right there. The police didn't call for backup. They didn't say nothing. They didn't call for no backup. They just left and left it as is. Left it as is. And once that happened, once you went in through them front doors, the first front doors, it's another set of doors you got to go through and you be blocked in. People was blocked in right there. Once I got in there, it was people falling out, passing out, and there was a girl at the front door. He just said her name, Jessica. I never knew her name. And that one dude that was there, he just said his name. His name is Eddie, is what Gene just said. They were still standing there holding that one door for people to go through, and nobody could get in, and they were stuck. And people started starting to get anxiety and all that. People might have asthma. They was passing out. We was picking up girls and pushing them through the door to that guy, Eddie. And this was the beginning of it before it even got around that corner. We pushing them in. We picking them up, pushing them through like a tidal wave, pushing them through. And after that, they kept closing the door. Then they'll open and let some people in. I'm elbowing. I'm going through. I got through the door. When I got through the door, I paid for my ticket. I went in, went downstairs. It was quiet. I'm watching Puff walk around. And, he looking regular. Everybody, conversating. Nobody know what was going on upstairs. Nobody.
And with the help of the police, that shit would have never happened, bro.
And the police was there. And that's my point. The police was there, and they didn't call for backup. They didn't do their due diligence. And they didn't get blamed for nothing. They blamed City College and they blamed Puff. And that's why we're telling people of the families, they need to do their investigation, hire a private investigator, and I guarantee you, a private investigator find out it was 2 police assigned in the front and they left. And do the homework on that. And I guarantee you that's what will happen if they wanted to dig that back up. This right here, bringing it back up, opening old wounds for the family and all that. But, at this point, it is what it is. But it was the police fault why this happened, man. And that's a fact.
That shit would have never happened. I was there. I saw it.
One thing for certain, if the police would have did what they supposed to do, it wouldn't have happened like what Gene said. But it was there. I seen them with my own eyes. I seen them walk off. And I forced my way through and got in and watched people pass out in front of me, and we was picking people up. I'm elbowing people. Yo, don't grab on me, man. They was grabbing on each other and all that. But yeah.
I saw Jessica run down the steps after she grabbed the money box because my man Eddie was protecting her. And Eddie's the one called me on the walkie-talkie and said, yo, Jessica just locked me in outside the gym, G. You couldn't go down the steps after they bum rushed the door.
So that's the part right there. When I got downstairs, nothing was going on yet. Nothing. Once I got in, I left it up there. They still was trying to figure, should they open the doors or not? So I go downstairs, I get to the gym, I go in, I'm walking around seeing everybody mingling, talking. The gym was not full with people. It was nothing about oversold tickets or none of that, because people couldn't even get in. People that had tickets still was with the tickets in their pocket, bum rushed the door. It had nothing to do with as if it was people inside of there already that gave their tickets and it was oversold. There's no way in the world that being oversold was the reason for that to happen. No kind of way. Nobody even got to give the people at the door their tickets to walk in because everybody started pushing and being ignorant and knocked the barricade over, and then now they pushing. Once you got in that first door, you stuck in the middle of that barricade. You can't even turn around and go back because the people that was outside pushing in, not noticing, didn't know that they was pushing people in and blocking them in, and the other people couldn't get in to the other door because the guy he named Eddie and the girl Jessica was sitting right there to your left at the other door, and they wouldn't let people in. They was letting them in, squeeze in bit by bit. I scrolls in, I got in. I was elbowing. I wasn't getting trapped in there. And that's what happened up there. See, Gene didn't know about that part upstairs, but I was right there.
I had to run around the whole gym on the outside, around the gym, down the steps, run across the basketball court, and open the front door. When I opened that one door, because it pushed inside, people start squeezing through that, and I just kept doing the doors, and people was coming in there.
And see, that's the part where I seen that door open, and people was stuck on them gym steps. The part right there where he talking, and then they was still pushing people through. Some people was getting in, and some people was passed out. I just seen people laying on the floor. And people was putting ice packs on people's necks. Girls was rubbing. I seen a girl rubbing a real heavy set dude, kind of about Gene weight, holding him in her arms and putting the ice around his neck, reviving him. Some people was revived and some people was passed away on the spot. I was seeing they put white sheets over some of the girls and all that in there. Girls had heels on, dressed nice, had white sheets over them. But my point about this whole thing right here is the fact that it was the police fault at the beginning of all of this, what made it happen. It had nothing to do with over ticket sales. So whoever started that rumor, it's a lie. And that's a fact. Me and my homie sat and watched that whole movement from the beginning. He got off the line. He couldn't take it. He said, I'm out. And now I remember after speaking to him a little while ago, period. And I even recorded me in this conversation. He couldn't remember everything vaguely, and he's going through something right now with his family. He had a definite family, but he still gave me the bits and pieces he could remember. I'm gonna go to my podcast in a minute, and I'm gonna play that recording and all that, so everybody understands real reality. And I'm sure everybody can't remember everything, but that's what happened. Up there was no other security up there. After the police left, nothing. Nobody was up there for the structure of it. So if Heavy D did tell Puff to tell Gene they don't want no security in the front, that's where they went wrong at. So I guess that could be partially the blame for that. And the main blame is the police was actually there and could have prevented it, because the only thing they had to do was call for backup. Who people gonna respect the most? Because even the way that crowd was pandemonium, it was a real, it wasn't even a line no more. They was out there pushing. You couldn't even see that front door the way they was pushing. And nobody could have got out the middle of it. And then they had no choice. Jessica and the guy Eddie, no choice but to open that door, and no money was going to be got. Now, I can admit, them celebrities did cause that ruckus. That's what caused that ruckus. And my boy talking to him gave me the reminder. It definitely caused that ruckus. But the police would have did their due diligence, that would have never happened, man.
Falling dead, right out, just falling out right there. And once they got in there, they just fell out. It was crazy, bro. It was a crazy sight. So I was there, man. So I knew more than they would put down there in that documentary. You know what I'm saying? You even see me, when Puff is standing up right there, you see me down there trying to do CPR on somebody.
And that's a fact. I seen I can't remember what part I seen Gene at, but it was a few people doing CPR on a bunch of people. So he's absolutely right on that. It was a bunch of people doing CPR. People was rubbing ice. They was bringing ice packs and all that. That's a fact.
17-year-old kid that died, bro. That was a 17-year-old kid that died. I knew his brother. His brother was sitting there crying, talking about, my mama gonna kill me. This is the first time I ever took my little brother anywhere.
Terrible, man. Who do you put the blame on for that whole City College thing? Do you put it all on Diddy, or is it more people that play the part?
Can't put it all on Diddy, man, for real. Especially if Heavy D the one that gave the orders, not for the security. We got to keep it 1,000. For real, for real. And that's one thing. Not only that, City College still should have had their own structure with security. And that's a fact. City College should have had their own structure with security, and they didn't. And then the police was out there, and they left. Those are the main factors right there. The police. The people that protect us, that run everything, they left, a male and a female. If anybody family members to this, and I did this on my podcast 2 years ago, speaking about this City College incident, and now it comes back tenfold right here with a documentary. I spoke about it already. I just put it up again, but I also said it was some people in the comments saying that they was in there and they remember it happening just like that. The crowd was being belligerent and ignorant and kept pushing. Nobody had a chance to give no tickets up. So it doesn't matter. Any place that when you promote a party, if it gets crowded and packed and all that, it still don't matter. If they have security out there controlling the crowd, that could have never happened. So yeah, Heavy D must have told Puff, and this is coming from Gene's mouth because Gene was there regulating it. But the police left, man.
Well, I think Puff cutting security for the outside is a big part.
You just said Heavy D told Puff that he don't want the security outside. So we got to utilize what was really said. We don't want to just keep throwing Puff name in that. There ain't no Puff Diddy fan and none of that, period. And you got nothing to do with that. I'm just speaking, what's real reality from what I know and what I've seen and what I'm hearing right now from Gene. Big facts. I talked to Gene and we had the conversation. I told him I don't remember seeing no FOIs across the street, period. Wasn't nobody there to control it.
Second of all, the college should have their security there.
Facts.
And you didn't see none of the college security.
None.
The college should have let the police department know that it was a function of that magnitude that was coming.
It was there. The police was there. Now, one thing is right. The college should have let them know it was going to be a function of that magnitude, but they still have to, if those are off-duty cops, you got to pay them. So it's up to the promoter to hire how many police that he will want. And they still should have security there. But it still doesn't take away the fact of the matter that the police watched that crowd get belligerent and pushing and acting crazy and knocked over those barricades. Once they knocked those barricades over, they should not have left. They should have called for backup and made that crowd get some type of order, and they didn't. That's the fact of the matter, and people skipping over that fact. For real. Police should have some blame in this, man. See how Gene just said they should have let the police know. There was 2 police there. So now they got to call an audible when something happens like that. Call an audible and call for backup. And they never did it.
So it's Diddy and the college and the security and the school.
To get into this documentary, man.
And the police, man. This was wild right here. They not talking about the police, man.
I want to get your point of view, man,
And not only that, I chat GPT'd it. And it said it was 66 police there on my chat GPT. So if any of y'all got chat GPT, man, y'all Google it. City College massacre, how many police was out there that day? I just Googled it. I'm going to let y'all do it. And y'all drop some comments, man.
Now, it's one part in here where Eric Sermon, he told a story about how he was in a car with...
But yeah, y'all check that out on the Art of Dialogue. Y'all check it out on the Art of Dialogue. And we'll go from there. But it's a fact. It was the police fault. It was nobody else's fault at the beginning of it. If that would have got handled at the beginning of it, these people would probably still be here to this day, man. There's no probably, because who gonna at a mobbed up crowd, who are they gonna listen to? Security not even gonna get in the middle of all of that. It was 2 block doors. You couldn't even see the door no more. That's how mobbed up that joint was. And I'm only doing this joint just for the real reality of it, and because the police don't never get blamed for nothing. And they want to blame us for stuff all the time. And I get it. Gene ain't going to remember everything. But what he's saying is right and exact, because I remember all that. The CPR, people was doing CPR, and he must have been one of them that was down there doing the CPR, because I was walking around just looking at people laid out, and I was shaking my head like, wow. They came out to have a good time, and man, they didn't know they was going to lose their life, man. Like pretty women, man, covered up with the white sheets and all that, with heels on and all that. Dudes covered up. Some of them they revived and was bringing them back, and they was just sitting there like breathing hard, trying to get they breathing back in order and all that. That was a crazy day, but I was standing right there and I seen it with my own eyes, and the police need to get some backlash from that too. And stop screaming it was the tickets. It was the ticket sales. Nobody was able to even give tickets. It wasn't even crowded in that gym at all, because the capacity of the gym was still outside. Couldn't even get inside. They had to open that door because people was getting squished inside that little corridor. Period. And that's a fact. But yeah, man, I'll see y'all in a minute. I got some things to do. I got to roll out in a few minutes. Matter of fact, I'm going to go back live in a minute. I'm going to this little spot there. I'm going to let y'all check out what's about to go down. It's a surprise, man. I'll see y'all in a minute. Hold on. My girl Jazzy said, but do you think maybe Puff should have offered to help pay for funeral services? I mean, that would be the most respectful thing to do, of course. Of course. If he felt bad, and at this time, Puff wasn't the rich big dog that he is to this day. Nowhere near it at this time at the City College. Heavy D should have helped, because it was a Heavy D event and it was a Puff Daddy event. So whoever was a part of that should have. But when you do an event like that, you have to get $1 million insurance policy just in case those things happened. So he should have had insurance. City College should have had insurance, and that's what should have took care of those people's funerals. We can't never do events. Every time I do a big event like that, I got to pay $1 million insurance. Every time. If not, you can't even get the space. But out of all due respect, yes, Puff should have made sure that happened with no problem, no hesitation at all. So, yeah, that's a fact, Jazz. He should have. I don't know what happened or what. I know Puff got sued. I think they said the college got sued and all that. But, they had Puff all in the paper looking like he was the reason, and he did it. He didn't know. I'm watching Puff smiling and having fun when I first got down there and, entertaining people and everything. They didn't know the turmoil was going on upstairs. After I got in, I figured they'd get it under control. I don't know what was going on. I know I got in. My homeboy that got off the line with me said he left. He said it was still pandemonium. The glass broke and everything. That glass broke up top because they was pushing. They shattered the glass pushing that hard. That's how much pressure was being pushed inside of there. The glass broke. And I guess that's what made the girl Jessica run down them steps and got scared. I never knew the girl's name. I always used to say it was a girl at the door and it was one dude right there holding her down. Until Gene just said it on this episode right here. A dude named Eddie. And Eddie will know exactly what I'm talking about. We was pushing people through the door to him. and getting them inside. And once I got in, I went down the steps and I ain't think nothing of it. Next thing I know, I look up, the gym door open, and everybody, all them people was stuck on the door, couldn't even get in still. They were still pushing people through, getting them through that was passing out. And I guess however else the other people that was got inside or on the floor, I didn't get to see. I can't really remember that part, how many, how all of the people got in there that was laid on the floor and the ones that lost their lives, man. That was a crazy day, and it was sad, very sad. And I was standing around, walking around, watching like that's crazy. And I'm like, wow, I'm glad I was elbowing, and I was literally elbowing, and people was trying to grab and hold on to me. Nah, get off of me, don't touch me. And that's a fact. My homeboy got off the line because he couldn't take it. On the outside, he couldn't take it going in, and the police left. So don't let nobody tell y'all different, and don't let nobody say all that ticket stuff. That's fake. It was no ticket stuff. That ticket stuff was not the cause of the City College massacre. It was the police at the beginning because they left off the line, because they left when the people started going crazy and pushed the barricade over and didn't call for backup. That's the bottom line of what happened, man. And Jazzy said you being tall probably helped you too. It was some tall people in there who was squeezing through. It ain't got nothing to do with being tall. I just know how to maneuver. I'm in. There ain't no grabbing on me. I'm in. And I'm not. And most people got anxiety or think that they can't breathe and start panicking when really you can breathe. So I don't know. And maybe it was hot with some people that was shorter than me. I don't know. Hot down there. And I'm not laughing at that incident. I'm just laughing, being as you said that I was tall. Maybe it was much air up higher, I'm laughing at that part. Because that was a very sad day, man. My condolences to the families. Because I know this opening up wounds again for them. Talking about it since the documentary is talked about right now. But they need to do some investigation. Bring it back up. Hire a private investigator, and I guarantee you it was 2 cops that was out there, a woman and a man, and I watched them walk off, period. And once they find that out, then somebody got to do some answers to these people's family, man, for real. But I see y'all in a minute, man. Y'all know what I do, man. My Street Knowledge Podcast movement. Y'all make sure y'all go over there, check out the podcast. And this is what we do. Your boy Big Boosie, I'm out. To all my people, peace. Hit me up, meanie. You know what it is.